conversion. Type conversion is nothing but conversion from one data type into another data type. For example, here we can see for the string function, so we are actually passing the integer value. And then when it is converted to the string type, that is str of 0. So we can see here, so that is the result is in the quotes. It indicates what? Now this integer value, it is converted to string. Similarly, so when we pass a floating point value, so again it is converted to string. So now we can observe here, so how this is useful to us. For example, we have passed the number, that is the integer number enclosed between the quotes, so to the integer function. So it is converted into the type integer. Similarly, what we can do, so we can take the example of the negative integer, that is minus 9 integer number. So again, it is that is enclosed within the quotes. So when I convert it into the integer, so it is going to result into this value, that is minus 99. So similarly, int of 1.25. So here we have to observe here, since we are converting a floating point number to the integer, so we are neglecting the digits which are after the decimal points, and we are considering only the what? The digits which are prior to the point. So we can observe here, the result is 1. Similarly, 1.99, so that is truncated to 1. And then we can observe here, so we have taken the value 3.14. We have taken the value 3.14. So now this is converted to 3.14. That is it is actually the string value because it is enclosed between the quotes. So now it is converted to the floating point value. Similarly, so when we pass the integer value to the floating type, so we can observe here it is converted to the floating type, that is 10.0. So you can observe here, so we can easily convert the data type, that is one type into the another, and the care should be taken here. See, whenever we are passing the data, that is for example the data that is enclosed between the quotes, here we have passed the integer number, then only the integer method can be able to convert into the integer number. So if we are going to pass the different values, for example int of then some string value, then that cannot be converted to integer. That time we are going to get the error, so that because that conversion is not possible. So we can observe here, so we have assigned a boolean value, that is true. True means 1. So and then we display this variable. So now what we are doing, so we have used the, that is the lowercase, the letter, that is lowercase t, and then ue, that is trua, true. So now we can observe here, so this particular word is predefined, that is meaning is known, already known. So this is not defined. So that is why we encounter the name error, that is name true is not defined. And then we can observe here, that is true is equal to 2 plus 2. Since it is only the boolean value, so I cannot use the keyword to assign some value. So we get the syntax error. So these are some of the important aspects we have to remember whenever we try to assign the value. And next we focus on the comparison operators. What are comparison operators? They are also called as relational operator, which are used to compare two values and evaluate them to a single Boolean value. So let us observe. So what are the different operators are there? That is equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Let us see an example how it is going to work. So now we are comparing the value 42 with the 42. Since both are equal, so that's why we got the result as true. Similarly, 42 equal to 99. So it is not equal since the result is false. So we can see here that as 2 is not equal to 3. Yes, that's why it is true. 2 is not equal to 3, it is true. And then 2 is not equal to 2. Since in this case 2 is equal to 2, so that is why the result is false. So next we can see some more examples that we can take the two string values and we are comparing. Since both are equal, because we are comparing character by character, that is H to H, then E to E, L to L, L to L, then O to O. So all are same, that's why we got the result as true. So in the second case, we can see here that is the lowercase hello, that is compared with the camel case, that is the letter H, that is the first letter is in uppercase, all the remaining remaining letters are in lowercase. So there is no match because lowercase h is having the different ASCII value and uppercase h has the different ASCII value. So that is why, so we can say that these two are different. So that is why they are not equal. So we got the result as false. Since the Python programming language is a case sensitive language and it will treat these two are the different values. That is the string value. So we can observe here next, that is a dog, that is which is not equal to cat because these two strings are different. That is why it is true. So we got the result as true. And then we are comparing Boolean true value is equal to true. Yes, that is why the result is true. And true is not equal to false. Similarly, because it is equal to false, no, it is not equal to false. That is why the result is true. And then we are comparing the integer type, that is 42, and we are comparing with 42.0. Since these two are numeric types and both are representing the same value, so that is why the result is true. And one of the important aspect is that is 42 double equal to, that is a string 42 value. So it indicates that is the string value that is not be compared with the integer value. So when we try to do this, so this, since they are not equal, since it is a string and then it is an integer, so that's why we got the result as false. So we can observe some more examples like 42 less than 100. Yes, it is true. So we got the result as true. Then 42 greater than 100. Yes, that is we can observe here it is not greater. So we got the result as false. And then 42 less than 42. So it's not possible because it is equal to 42. So we got the result as false. Similarly, we can see the different examples here. So we can assign the value and then we can compare, that is less than or equal to. So now in this case, this count, that is a count that is treated with the given value as 42. So now that 42 less than or equal to 42, yes, it is true. And then we are comparing the age value. That is, for example, we have read the age as 29 and then age is greater than or equal to 10. Since it is true, so we got the result as true. So what are the points to be remembered here? The comparison operators are equal to operator ask whether two values are same as each other, and the single equals operator puts the value on the right into the variable on the left. So we have to remember it as the equal to operator, and this single equals, that is referred as what? The assignment operator. So next, let us focus on Boolean operators. The three Boolean operators, that is AND operator, OR operator, and NOT operator, are used to compare the Boolean values. Like comparison operators, they evaluate this expression down into a Boolean value. Let us understand how actually it is going to work. The AND operator, let us focus on this AND operator. It evaluates an expression to true if both Boolean values are true. Otherwise, it evaluates to false. So we can see the example here. So when both the Boolean values are true, the result is true. And then we can see in this case, if any one of the Boolean value is false, then the overall result is false. For example, true and false is false. False and true is again false. False and false is false. So the same we can observe here, that is true and true, the result is true. Then true and false, the result is false. And then similarly, next we go with the OR operator. OR operator evaluates an expression to true if either of the two Boolean values is true. Either of the two Boolean values is true. If both are false, it evaluates to false. So we can observe here it as false or true. So in this case, one of the Boolean value is true. So that is why the result is true. So in this case, both the Boolean values are false. That's why the result is false. What is the advantage here? When both are true or any one Boolean operator is true, that is the, you can see here, that is true or false, false or true. In all the case, result is true. When both the Boolean values are false, then the result is false. Similarly, next we focus on the NOT operator. The NOT operator operates on only one Boolean value. The NOT operator simply evaluates to the opposite Boolean value. So we can observe here NOT of true is false and the NOT of false is true. And we can also observe here with some examples. So NOT of true, that is false. So in this case, we have like not, and then NOT of true. So in this case, what actually happens? So the evaluation takes from, that is right to left. So first we have to convert that NOT of true, that is nothing but false. And then again, NOT of false, that is nothing but true. And again, NOT of true, that is nothing but false, and again not of false, that is true. So the care should be taken whenever such operations are given. So then how actually we are going to evaluate. So next, mixing Boolean and comparison operators. So when we try to mix this and then whenever we going to observe, then again you can see here the evaluation results into the Boolean value, and we can see here, let us take the first expression, that is 4 less than 5 and 5 less than 6, and we have to observe here. So since we have the parenthesis, that is the expression within the parenthesis has the highest precedence, and we can see 4 less than 5 and then 5 less than 6, since both are with the equal precedence, so the evaluation will be from left to right. So we are going from this side. So 4 is less than 5, yes, it is true, and we have the AND operation in between. Then now we are comparing the second parenthesis expression, that is 5 is less than 6. You can observe here. So it is true, then true and true, the result is true. Similarly, 4 less than 5 and 9 less than 6, 4 less than 5, yes, true, and 9 less than 6, it is false. So true and false, the result is false. So 1 double equals to 2, that is equivalent to 2, false, or 2 double equals to 2. So in this case, it is true and it is false. So since it is a OR operation, the result is true. So what are the points to be remembered? The Boolean operators have an order of operations just like the math operators. So why we already discussed that. After any math and comparison operators evaluate, so Python evaluates the NOT operator first and then the AND operators and then the OR operator. So we have to observe here. So any math and comparison operators evaluate. So Python evaluates the NOT operator first and then the AND operator and then the OR operator. So now we can take this example. So please try to find out. So what is the result of this particular expression? Next, we focus on the elements of flow control. So let us understand first what are the elements of flow control. So how the flow control actually takes place. Let us understand. Flow control statements often start with a part called the condition, and all are followed by a block of code called the class. The condition is just more specific name in the context of flow control statements. The conditions always evaluate down to a Boolean value, that is true or false. A flow control statement decides what to do based on whether its condition is true or false, and almost every flow control statement uses a condition. So let us understand through a flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but the diagrammatic, the representation of the statements, that is how the control flow will takes place. So here we can see the pictorial representation, that is nothing but for the given task when there is a raining, so whether we go outside or not. So let us observe how this task can be represented through a flow chart. So first we use this oval symbol, that is to represent the task, that is start, and then with the diamond symbol, so we are representing the decision, that is raining, and it results into the two outcomes, that is if it is raining, that is yes, if it is not raining, that is no. If it is raining, so next further condition whether we have the umbrella. So if we doesn't have the umbrella, then what we are going to do, so we are going to wait for a while, and then we can observe here next again after some time we are checking is raining. So now if it is raining again, so what we are going to do, so we are going to wait for a while, and again we are going to check if it is raining. So if it is not raining, then what we can do, we can go outside. So what is the other option? If we have an umbrella, then we can easily go outside. So once this task get over, so we can reach to the end. So now let us understand through the flow chart. So how actually we represent the conditional and then looping statements. So let us understand first the blocks of code. Lines of Python code can be grouped together in blocks because every statement in Python can be executed, and we can also club together all these Python codes into a block, and you can tell when a block begins and ends from the indentation of the lines of code. So there are three rules for blocks. Let us go one by one. Blocks begin when the indentation increases. Blocks can contain other blocks. We also call it as nested blocks. Blocks end when the indentation decreases to 0 or to a containing blocks indentation. Let us understand that same through with some of the examples. First, we focus on the control statements, that is if statement. An if statement class, that is the block following the if statement, will execute if the statement's condition is true. The class is skipped if the condition is false. So what and all should be there whenever we try to execute the if statement? The first and foremost, the if keyword, a condition, that is an expression that evaluates to true or false. We have used the colon symbol, and then starting on the next line, an indented block of code that is called the if class. So here we can see this is the entire if block. So now if we add any another statement here, so all these statements now which are under the if blocks, that is if this condition become true. For example, whatever the name you have given or the name we have stored, which is equal to Alice, then what we are going to do? So we are going to print this. For example, if we add some other statements also here that get executed, but when we start writing the line, that is the statement here in this position, that we decrease this indentation. So here indentation has increased. So here it is decreased. So by the time we are going to come out of the block scope, that is nothing but the if block ended here. When I start the statement here, by the time it has ended, so by the time it has contained only one statement. So let us understand through a flow chart. So we can see here with the start, and then we are representing the if condition part, that is if name is equal to double equal to Alice. So guys, if it is true, then we are printing the name as Alice. Otherwise false, what we are going to do? So we have reached the end of the if block. Similarly, next category of control statement, that is a else statement. So an if clause can optionally be followed by an else statement. The else clause is executed only when the if statement condition is false. So let us understand, an else statement doesn't have a condition, and in code, an else statement always consists of the following. What actually it consists of? The else keyword, a colon, starting on the next line, an indented block of the code that is called the else class. So now we can observe with an example. So we can observe here. So if name is equal to, that is Alice, so we are printing the name as Alice. Otherwise, what we are going to do? So we are print the message as hello, then stranger. So now we have to observe carefully how actually the block is get represented. So now the problem is, we can observe here. So this particular print, that is hi Alice, that is exactly, that is within the if block, but this else block, it is not, we can say it is come under the if, and also it is not able to what clear, we can say easily referred. So that is why sometimes Python show it as a what, the indented block, that is the syntax is wrong. So that is why, so what we have to do, so whenever we are writing the else block, so we have to write it in a clear indentation. So where actually we have to write this, so we have to move here. Then what we have to do, so we have to write, if this is not the case, then because now the if block end, then the else block will come, that is here else, then print hello stranger. So that is why this example has been taken. So it is, we are in the dilemma, we are in which scope. So that is why, so whenever we want to end the if block, so now we have to decrease the indentation, that is it is increased here. So we have to decrease, we have to move this else here. And then next to this, we are writing the print statement. That is, if this name is not Alice, then what we are going to print? We are going to print hello stranger. So we can see here that at start, if name is equal to Alice, then true, then we are printing Alice. That is when we end the job. If that is not the case, we are going to print hello stranger, then the else block get ended. So next we focus on elif statements. The elif statement is an else if. So in the shortcut, that is elif, again it is a keyword that always follows an if or another elif statement. It provides another condition that is checked only if all the previous conditions were false. So in code, an elif statement always consists of the following. What actually it consists of? An elif, the elif keyword, the condition that is an expression that evaluates to true or false, a colon starting on the next line, an indented block of the code, and then it is not guaranteed that at least one of the classes will be executed. When there is a chain of elif statement, only one or none of the classes will be executed. So that has to be observed in a clear way. So once one of the statement condition is found to be true, then the rest of elif classes are automatically skipped. So for example, we can see here that is if name is equal to Alice, then we are printing it as Alice. Otherwise, that is elif, else if age is less than 12, then we are writing print you are not Alice kiddo. That is, we have checked two different condition. So among that, so depending upon the condition true, so we are executing either any one of the print statement. Either we are, if the name is equal to Alice, then we are printing hi Alice. If the age is less than 12, then we are printing you are not Alice kiddo, like that. So what is the program flow related to this? We can observe here the one more example, that is if name equal to Alice, then we are printing it as Alice. Otherwise, we check the one more condition, that is age less than 12, print you are not a Alice. And then if otherwise, then age is greater than 2000, that is the immortal, that is the person doesn't exist, like that. Then elif age is greater than 100, so you are not an Alice, like granny, like that. So now we can observe here, so we can represent the multiple conditions here. So what is the requirement? If any one of the conditions satisfied, then the remaining elif statements are skipped. So we can see here, so if name is Alice, then true, then the statement get printed, hi Alice, then we have reached to the end. So now all the remaining elif statements are skipped. So now this has become false, then we check this condition, that is age less than 12, then it is true. So we are printing you are not an Alice, this message, and then we reach to the end. Again, if this become false, then again we check what, that is age greater than 2000, then we are printing it as true, then print this message we are printed, and then we came to the end. So we can observe here again this gets saved. So when this has become false, then only we can go to the this last condition, that is age is greater than 100. Then if it is true, then we can finally go to the end, that is this become true, we print this, and we can see here all these conditions are failed, then only we can reach to this condition. So that is the importance of the elif block. So optionally, what we can do, you can have an else statement after the last elif statement. In that case, it is guaranteed that at least one of the classes will be executed. So if the conditions in every if and elif statements are false, then the else class is executed. Let us understand with an example. So if name is Alice, then we are printing it as Alice. Otherwise, if age is less than 12, then you are not an Alice kiddo. So if none of these two conditions become true, so then we go to the else block. Then we are going to print the message, that is you are neither Alice or not a little kid, like that. So if none of these conditions will be like it is true, then we are going to the else block, and then we are getting this message. Next, we go with the while loop statement. So the code in a while clause will be executed as long as the while statement condition is true. In code, a while statement always consists of the following. Prior to this, let us understand the important aspects of the programming, that is the blocks of the programming, or we can say the building blocks of the programming. It involves, already we have discussed those two blocks, that is input and then output. That is, we are reading the data through the input function, and then we display the data through the print function. And next we discussed about the control statements, that is the conditional statements that we have discussed about the if statement, then elif statement, then if else, then if elif, and then else statement. So similarly, the next block of fundamental block of programming is what? The looping or the repetitive statements. So next we discuss the categories over there, that is the while loop statement, the while keyword, and the condition, that is an expression that evaluates to true or false, a colon, and then starting on the next line, an indented block of the code. So let us understand with an example. So before entering to the loop, so we can see here while is an entry control loop. So before you want to enter into the loop, some condition has to be satisfied. So what is actually looping indicates whenever we specify any statement within the loop, until that condition gets satisfied, the statement within the loop is repeated. Means how many times it is repeated till the condition become false. So we can observe here that is we have initialized the variable that is spam is equal to 0, and we are observing, you can see here, while this variable that is spam variable value is less than 5. So we are going to print the message as hello world. So next what we are going to do, once this message get printed, so then we are incrementing the value of spam. Spam is equal to spam plus 1. So now in the next iteration, the value of spam get increased to 1. And again, since it is a repetition, we go back here. So now we are comparing what is the value of spam now? It is 1. So 1 is less than 5. Yes, condition become true. So we have printed the hello world. And again, spam value get incremented. So now earlier the spam has become 1. So now 1 plus 1, it is 2. So now value 2 is assigned to spam. Again, since it is a repeated loop, so we go back here. So now 2 is less than 5, condition true. So we print this statement, and again the statement get executed. So now the value of spam is 2. 2 plus 1, 3. So now spam is assigned to value 3. So now again, since it is a loop, we go back. 3 less than 5, condition true. The statement get executed, and now spam get incremented by 1. So it has become 4. And again we go back. 4 is less than 5, condition true. So now the statement get printed. So now it has become 5. That is spam plus 1. So 4 plus 1, 5. So now spam is 5. So we go back. So 5 is less than 5. So here the condition become false. Then we can come out of the while loop, because this condition become false till the condition become true. The statements within the while block get executed. So once the statement condition become false, so we are going to come out of the while block. So let us understand with an example. So we start the task, and then we have assigned the spam as 0, and then we are mentioning here if it is less than 5, till it is less than 5, value of spam less than 5. So we can see here it is true. So we are printing the message as hello world, and then we are updating the value of spam. We are incrementing. So once we are incrementing, so we can see here. So whenever this condition become false, so whenever this condition become false, we reach to the end. So when this condition will become false, when the spam is that is value that is not less than 5. For example, 5 less than 5 also is not going to hold good. So by the time we have to exit from the, we have to come out of the while block. So we can see here. So in this case, we are actually representing the loop. So we can see here. So we not representing any looping. So we just came out, correct? So now we can see here. So what is actually looping? So we can see here after incrementing the spam. So we can see here. So we are again going back. So where we are going back again to the condition in the while loop. So this condition true. So this is the way. So we are representing the while block that is in the flowchart. So next we focus on some of the examples over here. So now we can see here. So whenever we try to assign the name, so here we have assigned with the empty value. So now while name is not equal to your name, means we whenever we have not type the name as your name. So then what is the message we are going to get? Please type your name. So once we read the value, once it is true, then we can print it as what? Thank you. Let us see an example with this. So please type your name. First I have given it as AI. Again, we know that since this you can see here this is not equal to your name, so because we have to give this. So when this it is satisfied, when it is not equal to this, so we keep on asking this. So when I give this value, so then what we are going to do, so we are able to what? Come out of this loop. So we can see here, please type your name. So now we can see here, type your name, and we have given the message as Albert, so that is displayed here. Okay, so and then again, so it is not equal to this. So again, we say type your name. We have written something again. Again, it will ask please type your name. So now this time we have given the the string data that is nothing but the value that is equivalent to this. So now once we have given this condition become true, that is whatever the name we have entered, so which is not, that is when we give this, what happens till this is equal. So what we are doing, so we are keep on getting this message. Once it is not equal, so then what we have to do, that is not equal, we keep on executing. So once it is equal, so when we will be coming out of the while loop. So we can see your name, we have typed like this. So then we come out of the while loop and then we got the message as thank you. So like that, let us understand some of the important aspects, that is the looping statements, that is the break statement. So if the execution reaches a break statement, it immediately exits while the while loops class. In code, a break statement simply contains the break keyword. So why we use the break statement? Sometimes the repetition will be keep on going. Sometimes what we have to do, so based on some of the condition occurrence, we want to come out of the while block, then how we are going to come. So here we are going to discuss a popular category of the loop called infinite loop. What are infinite loop? Where the condition is always true. So we can observe here while true. So it indicates what? This condition is always true. What actually it represents, what are all the statements we are going to provide within this while block is always get executed. Means it is true since it is keep on executing. So by the time what happens when we try to execute this as an infinite loop, so then our system is going to hang. Why? Because so there is no possibility like how we are going to what exit from this. So that is why what we are going to do, so we use the break statement when certain condition get matched. So what we can do, we can come out of the while loop. So we can see here while true, so what we are printing, print message, please type your name. Then what we are going to do, so we are reading that name through using the input function, since we are reading the string that is name. Then what we are comparing, if name is equal to your name. So that is your name is what? It is a string value we have stored, that is the string value. So now I am comparing whatever the name that has been read by the user as your name. So now if that is the case, what we are going to do, so we want to come out of the while loop. So once we come out, so we are going to print the message as thank you. So we can next we see one more important aspect, that is continuous statement. So when the program execution reaches a continuous statement, the program execution immediately jumps back to the start of the loop and re-evaluates the loop conditions. Sometimes what happens, so there is a necessity that if some conditions occur, so we want to continue the task. So how we actually continue the task? That is, we can go back to the start of the loop and re-evaluates the loop condition. Again, if the condition becomes true, so we are able to continue the statements execution which are inside the loop. So let us understand by an example. While true, since it is an infinite loop, so we are printing the message, who are you? We are reading the name, and then we are comparing. If name is not equal to Joe, means till the name is not equal to Joe, so what we are going to do, so we keep on continuing. So next we are observing this statement, that is print hello Joe, what is the password? So we can observe here. So once you can see here, once this particular condition become false, then that is nothing but whatever the name they have given that is equal to Joe, then what we are going to do, so we check the condition. What is that condition? Here it is true. So what we are going to do, so the message says hello Joe, what is the password? And then we can see here next the user is asked to give the password. So here the hint has been given, it as a password hint, it is the name of the fish. Then we are checking if password is equal to swordfish. Okay, so now what we are going to do, so we are comparing actually. So this is the actual password and whatever the password the user has given. So once it is done, so means it is equal, then we can come out of the while loop and then we can print the message as access granted. So until and unless this name is not matched to Joe, and then well, you can observe here. So what we are going to do, so it keep on asking like what? who are you, what is the name, it is keep on asking. So once the proper name, that is Joe, has been given, it will ask for the password. So this is the benefit of what the continuous statement. So now we can see the output here, that is who are you. So it can keep on asking, I'm fine, thanks, who are you, again who are you. So once I type the name as Joe, so it is asking, so what is the password? So now I have given the wrong password, so again it has asked who are you. So we have given the name as Joe, and again you can see, hello Joe, what is the password? So now again we have given the proper password, so then only we get the message as what, access granted. So next we focus on one of the important loop category, that is we have discussed about the while loop. So now we are discussing about the for loop. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, that is either a list or a tuple or a dictionary or a set or a string. So now a for statements looks something like for I in range. Let us observe this example, and always includes the following. What actually it includes? The for keyword, a variable name, the in keyword, a call to the range method with up to 3 integers passed to it. So we will see an example, then a colon, and a starting on the next line, an indented block of code, that is we called the for class. So next, understand what is a range function, that is used to loop through a set of code a specified number of times. So we can use the range function. The range function returns a sequence of numbers, observe here carefully, that is starting from 0 by default and increments by 1 by default and ends at a specified number. So let us realize the same with the example. So the range function can also be called with the 3 arguments. Let us understand. The first 2 arguments will be the start and stop values, and the third will be the step argument. So whatever the task we have done with the while loop, so we are going to do it in the for loop in a variety of way. Let us understand. The step in the step is the amount, that is the variable is amount, the variable is modified by after each iteration. So we can see in the example, for x in range of 6, then we are printing the value of x. So here in this case, so the value, that default value start from 0. So it indicates for the values up to 0 to 6 means, so we are considering the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So now for x in range 2, 6. So now the starting value, it is from 2. So now up to 6. So now what actually the x value will be printed every iteration, that is 2, 3, 4 and then 5. So in this case, for x in range 2, 30, 3, it indicates the values start from 2 and it is up to 30, and there is a step size. Step size means after every 3 values, so we are printing the result. That is, the first value is 2. Then after the 2 plus 3, that is nothing but 5, next 5. Then again 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 3, 11. Like that, it is going to print up to 30. So here we have passed 3 different arguments, that is start, stop, and then we can say the step argument. So next again, for I in range, that is we have given 0, 10 and the step as 2, and then we are printing the result. So let us see with an example. So in this case, so you can see here, so we have taken the example of the negative value here, that is it starts with the number 5 and it ends at -1, that is start, stop, that is end, and then step size. So here the stopping point is -1, the -1, and then the step size is in terms of, not in terms of increment, decrement by 1. So now what we have to do, we are printing the result. So let us see the execution result. So for I in range, so we can observe here the keyword for, and then again the in keyword, and then in the range 5, -1, -1, it print I. So now what happens? We started from 5 till we have to reach up to -1. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and then 0. So what we have to do, we have to decrement by -1. So that is why, so 5 minus 1, that is 4, 4 minus 1, 3, 3 minus 1, 2, 2 minus 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 0. So this is the result we are going to obtain. So we have discussed the example of what, that is passing the positive value as well as passing the negative value, how the for loop is going to work. So now let us see some more examples, that is print my name is. So we can observe here. So for I in the range of 5 means up to 5 times we are considering. So we are printing the what, that is the name as Jimmy 5 times, and then we are printing the string message. We can see here that is str of I. So we already know this, that is the type conversion of the integer value. So here I represents the integer value, so that we are converting into the string, and then we concatenate. We can observe here we are concatenating this, that is the parenthesis, so that whatever the value that is represented here, it should show like Jimmy 5 times like that. So we can see here this result as you can see my name is Jimmy 5 times of like 0. So in order to get that 0, so we can see here, so this is the thing, that is we are placing in the quotes, and then we have to do this, that is then Jimmy 5 times of 1, 5 times of 2. So this is only for the type conversion, and this bracket is for adding the, this is for representing this value, that is concatenating this, and this bracket, that is end of the, that is the print statement. So now Jimmy 5 times 2, 5 times 3 like this. So now the same task, if we try to do it in the while loop, so you can see there are extra statements are there. So that can be avoided when we use the for, since because we are using the range function. So we can see here my name is, and here we need a variable that has to control the what the loop, that is I equal to 0. So now again the same variable that is used to check the condition. We can see we are using here in the condition, that is I less than 5, and then we can also see so that loop controlling variable has to be updated after every iteration. So this job is avoided with the help of range function, because it can do all that, that is initialization, that is then after initialization, then incrementation and condition, all that can be checked, that is with the help of, that is start, stop, when it can be ended, and then what is the step size, either in terms of what negative as well as the positive value. So this is the difference. So we can see with the flow chart, that is start, then we print what is my name. So we can see here, and then now what we are going to do, so we enter into the loop, that is for I in range, and we can see how many times we are printing this till this become false. So we keep on printing this. So once it is done, that is looping get completed, we can reach to the end block. So now what we are going to do, we write a simple program, that is write a Python code to add up all the numbers from 0 to 100. It is very easy. So how we are going to do, first we take a variable, that is total, we assign to 0. Initially we don't know what is the total altogether the number, so we have assigned to 0. So now for, so we can take any variable name here. Let us take the valid variable name. So for number in range, so let us understand in operator, then range 101, because we want numbers from 0 to 100. So we have given up to 1011 means that is 0 to 100. So what we are doing after the colon, so we are within the block of that for, so we are writing total is equal to total plus number, and then we are all together printing the total. So this is very important. So whenever we are using the looping statement, care should be taken. So we have to specify the conditions properly. So next we go on importing the modules. So let us understand how to do that. Python comes with a set of modules called the standard library. So each module is a Python program, very important, that contains a related group of functions that can be embedded in your programs. So before you can use the functions in a module, you must import the module with an import statement. In code, an import statement consists of the following. What and all will be there? So because whenever we have to use some of the standard functions, for example, like mathematical operations, that is finding the sign of the given number or cos of the given number in order to get the values through the series. So every time in want to get that value will be difficult. So that is why in the standard library, we have written the Python program that is to do the task, and that entire code that can be get through the help of this standard library, and that can be used in our program wherever necessary. So how it can be done? First, we have to use the keyword, that is import keyword, and the name of the module, and then optionally more module names as long as they are separated by commas. Sometimes we have to that is import more modules, that is more functionalities we require, that is defined in the different libraries like this. So we can give the different module name as a comma separated, like import random module, comma sys module, comma OS module, or comma math module, like that. An alternative form of the import statement is composed of the form that is from keyword followed by the module name, the import keyword, and a star. So we can observe here, so from random module import star, so it indicates start and then dot. So we can see here when we write like this. So what actually it represents? It represents, so we are taking everything from the module, that is random module. So we are importing everything. Star means all. So now let us see an example. That is, we are importing the random module, and then so we are printing a random number, that is up to 5 random numbers we are going to print. And then we can observe here, so we are printing the 5 random numbers within the range, that is from 1 to 10. I want to display any random number. Random number means what? Any number that is between this range, that is 1 to 10. So now when I call this, we can see here, that is random name of the module dot randint, that is the name of the function. And these are the what? Two arguments we have passed, 1 comma 10. 1 indicates the starting value, and then 10 is the stop, that is from to range. Okay, so now, so what we are going to do, so from 1 to 10, the 5 values will be displayed. So we can see first it has printed 4, 1, 8, 4, and then 1. So now again, once again you run the program, again you will get the different set of numbers. So next we focus on ending a program early with the sys.exit. So how we have imported the random module. So now we are going to import the sys module. And what is the importance of this? So we can use the exit function. Sometimes we want to come out of the program. That is, we want to end the program execution depending upon certain conditions in the program. So now what we are going to do, so in order to come out of the program, that is, we are using the exit function. That is, you can cause the program to terminate or exit by calling the sys.exit function. Since this function is in the sys module, you have to import sys before your program can use it. So let us see how to use this. First, what we have to do, we have to import the sys module. So then we are using we use an example, that is while true. So what we are printing, type exit to exit, means we have to type exit to exit from this block. So now what we are going to do, so now we are reading the response. So now what we are going to do, so if response equal to exit, so we are calling the sys.exit. That is nothing but, so we come out of the program, that is we have terminated from the program. So until and unless, so we given exit, so we can see here, if this condition become false, means if I have given some other message, so then it is keep on printing, that is you typed response. Since it is an infinite loop, again it will ask type to exit, so then it will read the response, and again it will compare here. So once it is equal to exit, so we can come out of the program.